The first time it happened, I didn't even know her name. I only knew the voice, the one that haunted my sleep and slipped into my dreams uninvited. I woke up in the sterile white room of the orbital research station, blinking against the soft hum of the life support systems. I was sweating, my sheets tangled around my legs, heart pounding like a shuttle launch. "She's here again," I muttered to no one in particular, gripping the edge of the bed. Dr. Vieira, my colleague and the station's neuropsychologist, glanced at me over her clipboard. "Another sleep talk episode?" I nodded, too tired to explain that it felt different this time. That voice, it wasn't just a dream fragment. It was alive, intentional, like it was trying to reach me. "You're pushing yourself too hard, Eli. We all are. The research data can wait," she said, her tone gentle but firm. Sleep deprivation plays tricks on the mind. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to believe that my mind wasn't betraying me. But something deep in my gut told me that what I was hearing wasn't a hallucination. For weeks, I had been monitoring a wormhole anomaly near the outer rim of the solar system. Its readings were strange, almost organic, and the closer we approached, the more it seemed to resonate with my own brainwaves. At first, I chalked it up to cosmic radiation interference, but then the dreams began. They started simple, shadows moving just beyond the edge of my vision, whispers I couldn't fully catch. But gradually, the figure became clear, a woman with eyes like molten silver, a presence that made my heart constrict with longing and fear all at once. She never spoke directly in my dreams, only through fragments of sentences, always cutting off just before the revelation. And then she spoke outside the dream. It was during a routine check of the station's communication logs. The last log from our external sensors was garbled, static-filled, but I could swear I heard my own voice muttering her name. I froze, hand hovering over the playback button. "Eli, you okay?" Dr. Vieira asked, her eyes narrowing. I think someone's on the comms," I stammered, my throat dry. "But there's no one out there." She frowned. "You're exhausted. Go rest. Now." I didn't. That night, the dream was different. I stood on the observation deck, staring out at the wormhole swirling with iridescent light. The woman appeared before me, her form solid this time, her gaze piercing. "You know me," she said, her voice a perfect echo of the one I had heard awake. "You've been speaking of me even when you didn't realize it." My heart skipped. Who are you?" She didn't answer, just reached out. The touch of her hand against mine sent a shockwave of memory through me, memories that weren't mine. Faces, places, moments I'd never lived, but felt intimately familiar. And then I woke up. But she didn't leave. Not entirely. The next day, I found her, again, or some version of her, in the station's AI monitoring system. It was impossible. She wasn't supposed to exist outside my dreams. Yet there she was, encoded in lines of corrupted data that only appeared when I accessed the wormhole readings. I pressed my fingers to the console. No, this can't be real. And then she spoke through the AI interface, her voice clear and unmistakable. "You were talking about me in your sleep." I staggered back. The AI, normally sterile and unfeeling, now carried her warmth, her presence. "Who are you?" I whispered, half afraid she might vanish like mist. "I am what you're meant to find," she said. "And you've been calling me long before I could reach you." It sounded like madness. And yet, my rational mind, the scientist in me, couldn't deny the correlation between the wormhole's oscillations and the neural resonance patterns in my sleep. The data, the dreams, her voice, they all lined up. Over the following days, we communicated more, her presence growing stronger, more tangible. I could hear her thoughts, catch glimpses of her consciousness in the AI streams. She was trapped somewhere between dimensions, a sentient fragment of an alien intelligence stranded in the liminal space of the wormhole. And she was frightened. Why me? I asked during one of our private exchanges. The observation deck was empty, silent except for the hum of the station's engines. Why are you reaching out to me? Her voice softened. Because you were open. You've been calling me in your sleep, drawing me here with your subconscious. You are the key. The logic was incomprehensible, yet something deep inside me resonated with her words. My dreams had always been vivid, but now they were purposeful, a bridge between two realities. The breakthrough came when I attempted to transfer the wormhole's energy readings into the station's experimental neural interface. If the theory was correct, I could stabilize her presence long enough to interact fully. It was dangerous. The wormhole had already destabilized communications and sensor readings. If I miscalculated, we could lose the station, or worse, rupture the space-time barrier. But I couldn't stop. I needed her. The first attempt failed. The AI system overloaded, alarms blaring, lights flickering. I collapsed to the floor, the hum of the engine screaming in my ears. And then, amidst the chaos, I heard her voice, calm and clear. Eli, breathe. Trust yourself. Her presence was stronger than ever. I reached for the neural interface, connecting myself to the wormhole energy stream. It was like plunging into an ocean of light and sound, every fiber of my being vibrating with energy. And then I saw her, not as a dream, not as a fragment, but as a fully realized consciousness standing before me. Her silver eyes locked onto mine. "You found me," she whispered, "and now we must go beyond." I wanted to speak, but words failed. Instead, I reached out, and the moment our hands touched, reality shifted. The station dissolved around us, replaced by a kaleidoscopic landscape of stars, light, and fluid dimensions. I was no longer in the physical world, yet I was fully aware, fully present. "I don't understand," I said, awestruck. What is this?" "This is where I've been," she explained, "and where you've always been calling me. You drew me here with your mind, your dreams. Together, we can explore what lies beyond the constraints of your universe." Her hand in mine, I felt an expansion of consciousness I couldn't have imagined. Memories, knowledge, experiences, hers and mine merged, giving me a clarity and understanding that transcended human comprehension. And yet, there was a warning. Her tone softened, almost mournful. "But you must choose. Once you step fully into this reality, you cannot return. Your world, your station, your friends, they will not see you again." I hesitated. The station, my colleagues, the life I had known, they were anchors, but they also felt suddenly fragile, trivial. I looked at her, and in her eyes, I saw the promise of discovery, of connection, of a future unbounded by ordinary existence. I began, my voice trembling. "I don't know if I can leave it all behind." She smiled, a small, knowing smile. "You've already begun to leave it behind, Eli. Every night, in your sleep, you've been reaching for me. That choice was made long before you were conscious of it." Her words pierced through me. I realized then that this journey wasn't just about discovery. It was about awakening, about embracing a destiny written across the threads of time and space. I took a deep breath. "Then I will follow you." The transition was instantaneous. One moment, I was tethered to the station. The next, I was immersed in a realm of infinite possibility, where thought and reality intertwined, where she and I were no longer separate entities, but part of a greater whole. And in that moment, I understood the truth. The woman I had dreamed of, The voice that had haunted my sleep was not just a being from another dimension. She was a mirror of my own potential, the part of myself I had been too afraid to awaken. We moved together through the vastness, exploring alien landscapes of pure thought, galaxies woven from living energy, civilizations that existed as pure consciousness. And every time I looked into her silver eyes, I was reminded of the first words she had spoken to me. "You were talking about me in your sleep." The final realization was profound. In seeking her, I had found not just another being, but the ultimate expression of connection, of understanding, of love that transcended the physical and the temporal. And yet, even in this boundless expanse, a small, human part of me remained. I remembered the station, Dr. Vieira, my colleagues. I wondered if they would ever comprehend what I had become, what I had witnessed. But the memory was tinged with warmth rather than regret. My choices were mine, and they had brought me here. She turned to me, her gaze gentle. "There will be others," she said. "Dreamers like you, reaching across the void. And perhaps, in time, they will follow, and the universe will become more than you can imagine." I nodded, awestruck. "I understand." And with that, we vanished into the next horizon, leaving behind the limitations of ordinary existence, bound together in a shared consciousness, explorers of the infinite. I had spoken of her in my sleep long before I knew her. And now, fully awake, fully aware, I was with her, finally, forever. I took a deep breath, my hand still in hers. "Then I'll follow you." Her silver eyes softened. "You've already been following, Eli. Every dream, every whisper, it was a journey to me. The station, the stars, the life I had known, all dissolved into a spectrum of light and consciousness. Together, we stepped beyond time, beyond space, into a reality where thought and existence were one. I realized then that she was not just someone I had dreamed of. She was the part of myself I had longed to meet, the voice calling me toward my own potential. Every fear, every doubt, melted away as our minds intertwined. "Where do we go now?" I asked. "Anywhere. Everywhere," she said, smiling. "The universe is ours to explore, but the true journey is what we discover within ourselves." And in that infinite expanse, I understood the truth of her first words. "You were talking about me in your sleep." I had spoken of her long before I knew her. Now, awake and aware, I was finally with her, together, boundless and free. The universe stretched before us, a canvas of endless possibility, and for the first time in my life, I was exactly where I was meant to be.